Hello friends, my name is Lash. In this video we will learn about AWS pricing model. AWS provides you a variety of services and pricing of each services is unique. Hence, we will not go into minute details of pricing. We will have broader view on how AWS charges. Let's get back to the screen. Key factors that drives the cost of AWS are compute, that means how much CPU utilization you are doing. The second one is storage, that means how much storage you are utilizing in terms of GB. The third one is outbound data, means how much data is flowing out of the AWS network. You will be charged for it. Let's suppose you have created one virtual computer with the help of EC2 service of AWS. You kept one file in this computer. Whenever anybody downloads this file, you will be charged. But you will not be charged to keep any file in this computer. That's the beauty. Some of the AWS services are free. Some are always free. Some are free for first 12 months and some are free for very limited period of time. You can explore these services on the official website of AWS. If you click here always free, you will get list of services which are always free. For example, Amazon DynamoDB is always free as long as your storage is less than 25 GB. Similarly, if you click on this 12 months free, you will get list of all the services which are free for first 12 months. One of the famous example is Amazon EC2. Likewise, when you click on this free trial, you will get the list of all the services which are free for very limited time. For example, Amazon SageMaker is free for first 2 months only. Likewise, Amazon Inspector is free for 15 days only. There are 3 AWS pricing models, namely pay as you go, save when you commit, pay less while using more. Pay as you go is very similar to on-demand pricing. In this type of pricing model, you pay for your uses. Let's suppose you need any AWS service for 5 minutes. You pay only for 5 minutes. No, you realize that you need it for 10 minutes. No problem, you use it for 10 minutes and pay for 10 minutes. So, more the time you use it, more money you have to pay. You can scale up and scale down your services also, and your cost will accordingly readjust. This is one of the very costly pricing model. Another pricing model is save when you commit. In this pricing model, you promise AWS that you will keep spending certain amount of dollar per hour for the time duration of 1 or 3 years. In exchange, AWS provides you some discount. This is very flexible. This is very flexible plan because you can switch between the services. Let's suppose you need one EC2 instance in Hyderabad region. You can create it, but next day you realize that you need it in US region. So you can terminate this EC2 and create it in US region. There is no issue, discount will still be valid. And you can switch between the services. Suppose after 2 months you realize that you don't need EC2 anymore. Then you can start using other services like SageMaker. And discount will still be valid. Let's suppose you are promising AWS to use it for 3 years. Then you will get more discount. When you are promising for 1 year, you will get less discount. It is very obvious. When you are paying all the 3 years cost at once in the beginning only, all upfront you are paying, then you will get maximum discount. If you are paying partial upfront, you will get little less discount. If you are paying no upfront, you will get minimum discount in the 3 year range. Similarly, For 1 year range, if you pay all upfront, you will get maximum discount. You will pay partial, you will get little less discount. And if you pay nothing upfront, you will get minimum discount. Pay less while using more. We will understand this with the help of example. Let's suppose you are using any AWS service which is related to storage. For now you can consider is S3. So when you are storing 50 TB per month, you will be charged as 0.023 per GB. But suppose your data is scaled up. Now you have to store 450 TB per month. In this case, for first 50 TB, they will still charge you the same 0.023, but next 400 TB you will get some discount. You will have to pay $0.022 per GB. Hence, you get discount of $0.001 per GB. There are other cost-effective saving plans of AWS called reserved instance and spot instance. There are some similarities between reserved instance and saving plan. But in reserved instance, you don't commit for money you will be spending. You commit for the instance you will be using for long term. For example, you decide you will be using one virtual computer with 8 GB RAM and CPU of your choice for 3 years. Then AWS will give you some discount. Reserved instance is of two types: standard and convertible. In standard, you can't change the attribute, but in convertible, you can change the attribute. For example, if you want to scale up your EC2 service, that is virtual computer only, if you want to increase the RAM size or power of CPU, then you have to go for convertible. Then this type of reserved instance is called convertible. But this flexibility is not there in standard. Since there is more flexibility in convertible, you will have less discount, and you have more discount in standard. If you are promising AWS to use any instance for you 1 year, then you will get less discount. If you are promising to use the same service for 3 years, you will get more discount. It is very obvious. Similarly, if you pay no upfront, you will get less discount. If you pay all upfront, you will get more discount. If you pay partial upfront, you will get somewhere in between. Now question time. Here I am presenting you two scenarios, and you have to decide like in which scenario you will get more discount. Let's compare with respect to time. When you book any instance for longer time, more discount you get. Hence for 3 years you will get more discount, and for 1 year you will get less discount. When you are paying all the cost of 3 years in the beginning only, then you will get more discount. It means all upfront you are paying. But when you are paying no money in the beginning, means no upfront you are paying. All the payment you are doing on monthly basis. In that case you will get less discount. When your instance is of a standard type, means you don't have flexibility to upgrade your instance. Hence, due to this limitation, you get more discount in standard instance type. But in convertible instance type, you have flexibility to upgrade your instance, but you can downgrade. Hence, due to this extra flexibility, you will get less discount. Let's see this discount on the AWS website. Here, as you can see, currently standard instance is selected here. So in standard 44G Nano, you are getting 38% discount. But if you switch on to convertible, you will notice that discount will decrease. It decreased to 29%. Now, when time span is 1 year, it is 29%. If you increase the time stamp to 3 years, then you will get discount of 50%. Similarly, currently you will notice that payment option no upfront, means you are nothing paying upfront, everything on monthly basis. So in that case you are getting 50%. If we convert from no upfront to all upfront, you will notice that discount will increase. It increased to 55%. Here also you see like only upfront is there, monthly becomes 0. Same thing you can explore for saving plan also. So here similar behavior, for if you increase the time duration, discount will increase. Similarly for all upfront, discount will increase. One more thing, like you will notice that something they are asking you to select tenancy. It is of 3 types. Like in shared tenancy, it means hardware will be shared between multiple AWS accounts. But in dedicated host and dedicated instance, hardware will be dedicated for one AWS account. The difference between dedicated instance and dedicated host is that in dedicated instance you have less control on hardware, but in dedicated host you have more control on hardware. I have explained tenancy in much detail in another video, so please explore that. I will give the link in description. Now saving plan versus reserved instance. So in saving plan, you commit AWS that you will keep spending certain amount of dollar per hour for long term. But in reserved instance, you don't have any such commitment with respect to money. You commit that you will keep using any instance for longer term. In saving plan, you can switch between the services. Means let's suppose for 2 months you need EC2. After that you need Amazon SageMaker. So you can switch between these two services. But in reserved instance, if you choose any instance of EC2, then you have to stick to EC2 only. Similarly, in saving plan, you can switch between regions. Let's suppose you have created one instance of EC2 in Hyderabad region. But after 2 months, you realize that most of your users are in Mumbai region. So in saving plan, you can terminate this Hyderabad region and create a new EC2 in Mumbai region, and discount will remain valid. But in reserved instance, you cannot switch between the regions. Means your instance is tied to the region. Now AWS Spot Instance. Assume AWS infrastructure is free and there is no buyer. In this case, AWS provides discount up to 90% on the services like EC2. But there is a problem. As soon as a new high paying buyer comes, your EC2 instance will be terminated and the hardware will be assigned to high paying user. This type of instance is good for robust activities like batch running test cases. Assume you have to send 100k emails. So for that you have developed a software which sends mail in batches of 1k. So whenever a spot instance is available, you can send mails in batches. Similarly, when you develop any software, to test this software you have to run test cases. So whenever the instance is available, you can run your test cases. When it is not available, you can wait for it to be available. And as soon as the test case run, you receive the email of the result, like your test case is passed or not. One hack is like when spot instance is not available in one region, you look for the spot instance in other region. If it is not available in any other region, then you can search for similar instance in other cloud service provider. Hence you won't be losing much time. Let's talk about data transfer charge with respect to EC2 instance. Assume this is EC2 instance or virtual computer. So whenever anybody downloads this file, you have to pay data out charge. But for moving this file into this computer, data in charge is 0 in most of the cases. You are still paying for the storage of this file because it is stored in some hardware of the AWS, so you have to pay for the storage that is constant. The second point that you should remember is when you are transferring data within same availability zone, then it costs 0 rupees. For example, when you are transferring data from A to B with the help of private IP, then it is 0. Similarly, when you are transferring data between C and D, C and D are EC2 instance, with the help of private IP you are transferring data, then it is 0. But when you are transferring data between C and D with the help of public IP, it is not equal to 0. Data transferring with the help of public IP means you are first sending your data to the internet and then from internet to this EC2 instance. So in this case you are paying data out charge for EC2 instance C and data in charge on EC2 instance D is 0. What if you are transferring data across availability zone in same region? In this Mumbai region, if you are transferring data from AP South 1A to AP South 1C, then you have to pay data out charge here of $0.01 per GB, and here you have to pay $0.01 per GB data in charge. So total you are paying $0.02 per GB. When you are transferring data from one region to another region, you have to pay. It is not free. You have to pay data out charge. You can explore more here in this website. If you select any region here, then you get details of data in and data out charge. So data in charge from internet to EC2 instance of New York region is 0. But data out charge is $0.108 per GB for first 10 TB, and for next 40 TB it is $0.102 per GB, and so on. Now data in charge to Amazon EC2 from any carrier. Here carrier is nothing but a internet service provider that establishes private connection between your on-premises to AWS network. So it is relatively faster and more secure. Hence you have to pay additional charge of carrier. Here you are paying additional charge of carrier, but other charges per GB data in charge is 0, and data out charge is also very similar to data out charge of internet. Like for first 9.99 TB you are paying $0.108 per GB, and next 40 TB you are paying $0.102 per GB. Now when you are transferring data from EC2 instance of New York to AWS government cloud of US West, it is $0.02 per GB. Similarly, when you are transferring data from New York to Mumbai region, it is $0.02 per GB. You can explore more here. Like from New York to Ohio you are sending data, it will be $0.01 per GB. Here you can see data transfer charge from New York to other region is relatively cheaper as compared to data transfer out charge to internet, because here AWS is using its own network for transferring data from one region to another. Now interview question. Before I ask you interview question, I want you to recall that data transfer charge within same availability zone is 0. I also want you to know about S3 and RDS. S3 is AWS service that helps you store data. You can store data like audio file, video file, text file, etc. Similarly, RDS is also a AWS service that helps you store tabular data like MySQL data. My question is, here in this region we have two availability zone. So when you are transferring data from RDS to EC2, do you have to pay or not? It is free or not? Of course it is not free, because you are transferring data from one availability zone to another. Now if you are transferring data from this RDS to EC2, it is free or not? It is free, because you are transferring data within same availability zone. Now my another question is, here you have S3 and you are storing some video, and you are transferring data from S3 to this EC2 instance. You have to pay or not? It is free or not? It is free, because whenever you create S3 here, its replica is created in this availability zone also. S3 here also. So instead of reading from this S3, EC2 will read from this S3. So in actual it is reading from the same availability zone. Hence it is free. Now NAT gateway. NAT gateway is an application that helps virtual private cloud to connect with internet. In NAT gateway you have to pay standing charge, means per hour charge you have to pay. At the same time you have to pay for the data it processes. You can compare it with a vehicle. When you rent a vehicle you have to pay per hour charge. At the same time you pay for the petrol when you are traveling through this car. Similarly, NAT gateway also you have to pay standing charge per hour charge, and you have to pay for the data it processes. Now conclusion is, if you like this video you will get $1 million in your bank account. Just joking. Conclusion is, AWS have all the creative ways to charge you, so you must be very careful and cautious while using AWS. That's all for this video. Please take care. Bye bye.